Welcome back to the 100 spin test. In today's episode, number 92B, we continue our dive into the murky waters of roulette strategies, where promises of guaranteed wins collapse faster than the best-laid plans of mice and men. Ever wondered if these so-called foolproof strategies can withstand the chaos of real-world distractions and cognitive biases? Well, you're in the right place. Let's see what happens. Today's test is the second of 3 flat betting 2 of 3 dozens. The last of the series will be published on January 14th. There is a strange belief that the second dozen wins most frequently in American roulette. It's ridiculous, so let's test. I ran a simulation of this bet on my self-tester 20 times and 3 tests were net winners. There are 24 winning numbers out of a possible 38, so there is a 63% likelihood of winning on each spin. The presence of the zeros allows the casino to pop 5.3% of each bet in aggregate, so our expected loss is about 10.5 units. To simplify things for analysis and scaling, I've set the unit size to 1 simoleon. Place 1 unit each on the second and third dozen. You will win 1 unit if the ball lands on the second or third dozen, and you will lose 2 units if it lands on 0, double 0, or the first dozen. As always, the animated graph below shows the progress of the strategy as misplayed and gives an idea of how volatile the bet is. There is also a table below showing the payouts and losses for this bet. A link to Jack Ace's bet analyzer that contains much more information for this bet can be found in the description.
Now let's speed things up and watch the progress. I'll be back at the end to summarize.
Again, the second dozen did not come up most frequently. The scores were first dozen with 37 hits, second dozen with 29 and third dozen with 26. Overall, first dozen has a combined 63 hits, the second has 62, and third has 68. I ran the routine statistical tests on the results. The average number of spins before we got a hit was 1.8 with a standard deviation of 1.1. That means that it took 4 spins to get a win 65% of the time and a little more than 5 spins to get a win 95% of the time. There were 2 repeaters, 2, 6, and 26 each doubled up. The hot numbers were 2, 10, 16, 26, and 30 with 6 hits each. The cold numbers were 21, 23, and 34 with no hits each. We had 1 streak of 6 wins in a row, 1 streak of 5, 2 of 4, 4 of 3 and 8 streaks of 2 consecutive wins. We also had 1 streak of 4 losses in a row, 4 streaks of 3, and 6 streaks of 2 consecutive losses. We were in profit for none of the test. Let's look at our rankings. We find hitting the second and third dozen at 69th out of 112 on raw winnings or losses, and 103rd on % increased or decreased. More detailed information about the data, including hit counts, statistics, and streak information, can be found in the spin data for this test. A link is in the description. Keep in mind that casinos don't exist to make you rich. In fact, they exist to drain from your wallet whatever you allow them to take. Never take gambling advice at face value. Test any strategy that you plan to play on a free online game and read as many critiques about the strategy that you can find. A creator who won't tolerate questions or criticism is a bright red flag, and you aren't a hater for being cynical or by simply questioning their methodology. Some strategies only work for a limited time and the remainder don't work at all. Adjust your risk and loss tolerance accordingly and be cautious with regard to the advice that you accept.
Good luck until the next time.